We're sorry that we both were not feeling well the last time. There's a road I've traveled down in the dark, but stole me past where I lost the rhythm of my heart. And like a thief in the night, gone was a light that guided my soul. Feeling cold and alone, just dying to be whole. Some tears. Oh, and faithful friends who never need to ask the reasons why. A chance to scream, a place to scream, and a time when we fly so high. So when we choose that, you will live until you die. I'm coming in. Oh, the answer's inside of me. I'm coming in. I'm coming
We are? Oh. Can you turn up the lead vocal because I can't hear it?
Yeah, and I would like to just come over there.
Well, you can see one more inch of me.
A little bit more.
Because that's important. Okay, I get it. We're on camera too. So, anyway, we're doing a brand new song. This is an international world debut at Unity. We just wrote this song this week and recorded it for our new CD that we'll have a digital version available for Valentine's. So this is called We Are What We Believe.
Okay. Thanks. What do we think?
I can see it in your eyes. Your hopes and dreams are realized. You play the cards you thought life dealt, and heart is what we tell ourselves. Do we live the lives we only feel that we deserve? Drop the ball when life is only throwing curves. Let our feelings simply bring us to our knees. More than we can see, yeah, we are what we believe. Please don't mourn me when I am gone. My life is rich in love and song. I've no regrets about who I've become, just the things I've left undone. It's not the heartaches, but the loves that we hold dear. Not our failures and successes that we fear. It's not the words, but the feelings that we hear. We're more than we can see. Yeah, we are what we believe. But the loves that we hold dear. Not our failures, but successes that we fear. It's not the words, but the feelings that we hear. We're more than we can see. Yeah, we are what we believe.
So you wrote that this week, huh? What planet are you from? Gee, that was wonderful. Yes, I also want to tell you, you're going to want to go next Saturday. Was that Saturday? Is that Valentine's Day? Valentine's Day. They are going to have a special deal. There's a little information on it on the back table, but I want to let you know right now, it's at Jacksonville Inn in the ballroom. There's a 3-course meal. The reception or the kind of schmoozing thing starts at 6. Dinner starts at 6:30, and then at 7:30 a concert with them. They have tickets here, or you can get them at Music Coop. But wouldn't that be wonderful to spend your Valentine's Day with Savette and Roman, who can write a song in 1 week and just sing it like that? I find that disgusting. It's jealousy speaking. All right, well, we are doubly blessed today because not only do we have fantastic music, we have a fantastic speaker today.
Yeah.
You get applause. You don't even have to stand up here to get applause. His name is Wilkinson. Many of us around town have seen him community building. He's one of those people that brings people together with purpose and passion. He is a writer and an educator, and he's got some books back there on the table too. So, let me just say that in this year, 2015, he is initiating a network of professional dreamers, and aren't we all? Professional dreamers and local heroes with extraordinary loving support from his life partner, Tashina, and under the wise guidance of their spiritual teacher, Yogi, their cat. Let's give a warm rousing welcome to Will Wilkinson.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, which I wrote. So, I know that all of you are intelligent enough to have noticed that Gypsy Soul is still sitting here, and that you can deduce this means they're going to do more music.
Yeah.
Which means that I'm under tremendous pressure to not talk very much. So I'm so honored to share the presentation with you today. As you've already experienced this morning, and certainly if you've heard them before, these are not ordinary musicians. I was trying to think of a term to describe them, the one I came up with, and if you wrote a song this week, I can make up a term for you. Enlightening troubadours. Go ahead. On the back, there are CDs of theirs, and if you don't own a CD of theirs, you need to, because when you play their music at home, you're being entrained to their beautiful spirits. And it's more than just listening to music. It's an entrainment. Listen to the words. I'll be copying some of your words in my talk this morning. So Norma Burton, the minister here, is in Los Angeles, and I spoke with her briefly last night. She sends her love. She's having a great time. And in preparation for this morning, I watched some of her videos of the prior services. And it was so inspiring to see her, to hear her. Do you realize how fortunate you are to have her as your minister? Yes. Maybe a little... And Norma felt that, because we're connected in the field that we'll be sharing this morning and that I'll be speaking about. Some call it the 0-point field of energy, which, according to Richard Freeman, a physicist, there's enough energy in 1 cubic meter to boil all the oceans of the world. We just can't see it, we can't use it. Some people think we can. So Norma is here. She's in LA, but she's here. And I walk up here and I take this position so respectful of the field that she tends with all of you. It was fascinating as I explained to Norma last night. I was sitting at my computer typing away, preparing for this morning, and listening to her in the background and feeling the resonance. And I'm, of course, thinking about the topic, the field, and how we're all connected, and how you can't kind of prove it to the hard and fast scientists yet. And so I find myself typing, seems to be impossible. As Norma says on the video, seems to be impossible. You've had synchronicities like that? Well, I thought that was particularly appropriate that it would be those words. seems to be impossible. We've got a number of tools that we'll be using this morning. Music is one of them, words is another, prayer is another, and the last one is intention. We'll be focusing some intention this morning on the theme, what's your dream? I'd like to begin, though, with two things that I always like to start a presentation with. First one's appreciation. Appreciation is a great word that's poorly understood. We understand depreciation, your car depreciates. But appreciation we tend to think of as just kind of a nice sentiment. Well, actually, appreciation increases value. So when you appreciate someone, when we appreciate Roman and Celeste, it's increasing their value in our experience. So there's a number of things I'd like to appreciate this morning. First of all, the opportunity to be here and to have this chance to share my passion for life, for exploring life, for spirit. I'd like to appreciate this space. I mean, look at it. You know, somebody made these things. All the care that's here, and there are people who take care of this space. Certainly appreciation for Norma, who is your guide here, and appreciation for our ancestors, our family. Think of them, you know, your dad, grandmothers. I mean, aren't you glad that your parents had sex? Sorry, I may slip a few times like that. I know you forgive me, we're in church. And inspiring leaders like Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Joan of Arc, and there's a long list. The second thing I like to begin with is vision. This is often forgotten or neglected. There's a great phrase in Psalms, where there is no vision, the people perish. And it's really interesting to think about that in everyday terms. Like asking somebody how they are. It's a very dangerous question, because they might tell you, and tell you, and tell you. And I was thinking of the movie Airplane. Maybe you remember that old film, where the guy is so long-winded with his life story that everybody sitting beside him on the plane commits suicide. Somebody hangs themselves, somebody uses a sword, someone throws gasoline on themselves and lights himself on fire, just to get away from this guy who keeps explaining how he is. And you may know people like that. You may be one of those people. You know? So I have a mantra for you, if that happens. It's a one-word mantra, very simple, easy to remember, and. So you've now told me about how things are, and what's your vision? I wrote a blog a little while ago, and I started it out. Imagine driving down the freeway at 60 miles an hour with your eyes glued to the rearview mirror. That's not going to end well. Quiz. What's bigger, rearview mirror or windshield? Anyway. Windshield, why? It's more important to be looking where you're going, to have vision about the future. So before I ever came here, physically, I envisioned what I would like to have happen here. I looked through my windshield. I remembered other times I've been here, certainly. But the rearview mirror is a good idea. You can see, get a little orientation that's behind you, maybe a cop with his lights on, you know, useful things. But what's in front of you is much more important. So I'd like to invite you all to have a little vision right now. Most of us came in that door, and I expect most of us will go out that door. So let's time travel. We'll probably be leaving around noon. So it's noon. And we're leaving. You're walking out that door. Maybe it's raining, maybe it's not. What's your vision? what has happened this morning as we weave this spell of music and words and prayer and intention? Feel how it will feel as you walk out that door if you've had the best experience you could create for yourself this morning. How are you feeling? So I'm feeling nourished, feeling a lot of gratitude, feeling my spirits uplifted. I'm feeling challenged because I know that if I don't wimp out in the next 30 minutes, there's a chance I could. But if I actually stand here and do what Spirit is asking me to do, then I'm going to be challenged to live up to the invitation of this morning. That may be what I would like. We'll see if I can deliver. That's a challenge for myself. So I don't know what you're feeling. Anyone want to volunteer a word or two of how you felt leaving this morning?
Joy.
Love? Joy? Uplifted?
Connected.
Connected? Open? Peaceful, I think I heard. Inspired. Fulfilled. Isn't this great? So, they're suggesting, they being quantum physicists, that time is not linear and that the future isn't really after the past. So what if that had already happened? What if that was already real? Interesting idea. They have this thing called attractors. You might have read about those, these strange attractors. And some are even suggesting that what we're experiencing right now is a result of energy vortexes in the quote-unquote future that are magnetizing us towards them. Wow. I don't understand that, but it sure sounds cool. I'd like one of those at home to play with. So, I want to repeat a couple of the words, if I can, from your beautiful song. A chance to dream, a space to scream, a time when we fly so high. So, when will we choose? When will you choose if you will live until you die? Let's go out on a limb. Throw caution to the wind. I'm calling in a life that sets me free. Wow. Wow. A life that sets me free. When will you choose if you will live until you die? That reminds me of that great spiritual question, is there life before death? Right? How fully alive are we? I mean, we love seeing someone, musicians, poets do it, athletes do it, going beyond their comfort zone to do something extraordinary. How much of that have I got in my life? How much of that have you got in your life? There's an interesting dynamic we're going to play with this morning relative to discovering our dream. And that's a quandary that Jesus articulated. And I've lived for 21 years in a spiritual community, and I became pretty well versed in the Bible. There are all these biblical verses floating around in my database. And one of them relates to someone. I always have to apologize because my memory has fractured these verses, so to any biblical scholars, please give me a pass on this. Someone was bowing down before Jesus, and he said, don't do that. See you do it not. And what did he say? Two things that he said that are going to be important for us as we go through this morning. He said, feed my sheep. Feed my sheep. And the other one was love one another. That was his new commandment, love one another. So look around the room. Who's he referring to? Not theoretical people somewhere else living in a world that we want to be peaceful. We want peace on earth. Wonderful sentiment. These are the people right here that we can love. Love one another and feed my sheep. Who are the sheep? Anyone who's hungry. In other words, worship isn't adoring God and doing nothing in the world. If any of you have read Barbara Ehrenreich's new book, Bright-sided, you know what I'm talking about. The full title is Bright-Sided, How the Unrelenting Promotion of Positive Thinking Has Undermined America. And her beef is with this positive thinking thing where we take everything personally, it's all me. If I get fired, it's because I'm evolutionarily ready for a new opportunity. If I get cancer, it's because I hated my father. And taking everything personally, done to an extreme, means there's no social advocacy. There's not doing anything out in the world. We need both. And my hero, when it comes to this, is Andrew Harvey. Any of you know Andrew Harvey's work? Yeah? Okay. Everybody, The Hope by Andrew Harvey, read the book. He's an amazing modern mystic. I've been speaking with him because we're bringing him here to help with some educational programs next year. He'll be here for a full week, by the way. This is a man who's completely on fire. Let me read something here from his book, The Hope. This isn't actually from him. This is from one of his mentors, Father B.D. Griffiths. Humanity has come to the moment when it will have to choose between trying to play God with the catastrophic results we see all around us and trying to become what all the true mystical traditions know we can become, one with God through grace and light. This is a dangerous and yet wonderful and hopeful moment, because if enough of us can choose the latter, the birth of a wholly new kind of human being, and so of a new world, is possible. So that's the finger pointing at us. You know, what are we going to do? We can look to heroes like Gandhi and Martin Luther King, etc. Gandhi said, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. And he wasn't talking about sitting meditating, he was talking about social action. He was a pretty tough dude. I wanted to ask to see if any of you have realized deeply what else is common with these visionaries. Martin Luther King, JFK, Gandhi. Any other commonality between them, those folks?
The power of love.
Passion, the power of love, yeah.
Proactive.
Proactive, yeah.
They all ended killed.
Thank you, Annette. They were all murdered. John Lennon. And I believe there's a fear in us that relates to the threat to anybody who stands up and really does something. In Australia, they call it lopping off the tall poppies. Keep a low profile, go under the radar. You know? Don't make waves. Nothing to see here. So this morning, when I invite you and myself first to step up and really be the change we wish to see, there's a fear that comes up. Wow, what if I got killed? I better, I'll do a little bit, but not too much to raise too much attention. So I'd like to invite my wife, Tashina, to share a prayer with us, because it's the words of a very, I'll give you his name afterwards, just so you can enjoy the words without knowing who spoke them. By the way, I want to appreciate Tashina. Is that live? Right.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
There we go. This is a woman who just returned from 3 weeks in Hawaii to be with me. Now, either there's something wrong with her or she really loves me. So I appreciate it.
So the book that, this is a compilation of prayers and poems from Andrew Harvey, from mystics and ministers and priests, and it's just an amazing book. It's called Light the Flame, and it's 365 days of prayer. And what it's been for me, it's really taught me how to pray in a way through poetry and through love and in passion. So this is a prayer that, or poem, that Will picked out for me this morning. Prayer of the farm worker struggle. Show me the suffering of the most miserable, so I will know my people's plight. Free me to pray for others, for you are present in every person. Help me take responsibility for my own life so that I can be free at last. Grant me courage to serve others, for in service there is true life. Give me honesty and patience so that I can work with other workers. Bring forth song and celebration so that the Spirit will be alive among us. Let the Spirit flourish and grow so that we will never tire of the struggle. Let us remember those who have died for justice. They have given us life. Help us love even those who hate us so we can change the world.
Anyone care to guess who might have spoken those words? Cesar Chavez. He's our best-known Latino-American civil rights activist, and he used nonviolence to support farm workers and formed what's now known as the United Farm Workers Union. There's somebody working in the trenches, right? Andrew Harvey is such an inspiration to me because his whole thing is sacred activism. And when we were talking about him coming here, I asked him for his vision. I said, okay, you're sitting on the plane going back home to Arkansas? I think it's Arkansas. Some unlikely place. Do you remember, James, where it is? Arkansas? And I said, you're sitting on the plane and you just had an amazing week in Ashland. How do you feel? Here's what he told me. Exhausted from the joy of giving birth. Empty and full, with seeds going out. Calm exaltation. This is a guy who leaves it all on the field. All the time. His book, The Hope, came out. Those of you who take me seriously and pick up this book, if you're not crying by the time you're halfway through it, I don't know. And it was greeted with utter silence and disregard because he challenges a lot of his contemporaries to get off their spiritual butts and do something. And I take that personally. What am I doing in the world? It's not enough to meditate in a cave. Kids are starving. Women aren't safe. You know what really offends me? Okay. I look around this room. There are at least as many women here as men. I think more women. And yet, in 2015, we still tolerate things like using the word man to include everybody. You know, you women are really polite. I wouldn't be that polite. It's like, who's going to change the Constitution to read all men and women? Or maybe it would be like all women and men. There's 14,386 words in the Bible that were written by women. 89 of them, 43 of them who are named. Well, that might sound kind of impressive until you find out that that's 1.1% of the words in the Bible. It was written by men for men. I'm not denigrating it. A lot of guidance has come to me from the Bible. I'm just saying. There's an issue we could do something about. So what's your dream? What is your dream? We're going to find out. We're going to take you through a little process this morning, guided meditation also. I'm going to hand something out to look at. You can take it home and play with it. What's your dream? Do you have a dream? Do we think of someone like Martin Luther King who said, I have a dream? If you haven't seen Selma, by the way, playing right now, go see Selma. Heartbreaking, inspiring, beautiful film. So Martin Luther King had a dream. He inspired people. Why? Because he was passionate about his dream. So, do I have a dream? Am I passionate about my dream? Am I going to be like Martin Luther King? Oh, no. Do I need to be? No. Do I need to be like Gandhi? No. You know who I should be like? Me. Who should you be like? You. And what are we part of? A new paradigm of leadership. In America, we have this great man theory. Celebrity leaders. Well, what if that's an old paradigm? And what if now we all do our best, we all contribute, but our power is in the strength of numbers? Name of the CD I'm listening to right now. Strength in numbers. What if we all stepped up? So how many of you here are parents? Okay. I'd like you to remember when your first child was a baby. You're holding your baby. Just go back in time. Remember, it's not really back there. It's right here. You're holding your baby. And I just like one volunteer who's willing to answer me. How many times did you drop your baby? Anyone?
0.
How many? Once. So this brave gentleman admits he dropped his baby once. How long did it take you to pick your baby back up?
Less than 5 seconds.
There you go. If you're holding a dream and it matters to you, it's your baby that you love, are you going to drop it? No. If you did drop it for some reason, would you just kind of leave it there on the floor and walk away? I used to have a baby. I can't remember where he is now. Did I have a baby? Do you remember me with a baby? I think I had one. You're rushing at Mach speed to pick your baby back up, to comfort your baby. So when I say, do you have a dream? I'm talking about something that you feel as passionate about as you do a baby. And if you drop it for a moment, which I certainly do, you pick it up, pick it right back up. So I have a dream, and I didn't really make it up. When I was a child, I had the same dream every night until I was old enough to talk and ask my mother, or told my mother, why'd you throw that in the dream? Really? I just thought that's what sleeping was. And in the dream, I'm standing on a rock, the wind's blowing through my hair, I have my arms up in the air, energy is pouring up through my body, going out through my fingertips, going around the world. That's kind of a strange dream to have every night as a child, but I did. And as I got older, and certainly after my mother had told me it was just a dream, I started to forget it, not have it. But I never forgot that I'd had that dream. 1994, visiting Maui for the first time, and I'm in the caves at Wainapanapa, some of you may know that area. And I hear this voice in my head, a real Field of Dreams kind of voice. This is not the place. What? And so I go to 4 or 5 more spots on my little tourist thing, and this is not the place. What? Last day I'm in Maui, I'm in the Iao Valley. Some of you know the Iao Valley. And this voice says, this is the place. And I am obsessed. I go scrambling up the side of the hill. I get to the top, dense bush. I go thrashing through the bush, getting cut. Not really that dramatic, but I like to make it simple. So I get through the bush, find this rock, stand up on the rock, and there's the place of my childhood dream. And I'm on a plane 2 hours later. So I had to come back. And I came back. That's where I met Tashina. Lived there for 7 years. It took 2 years with the help of some kahunas to figure out what had happened. Why did I have that dream? What did it have to do with that rock? And apparently, this is where we get into storyline a little bit. In a prior life, I was there with the Hawaiians. There was a big battle in the Iao Valley. I was conducting a service for the dead warriors, and someone came up and stabbed me in the back and killed me. Which explained my fear of public speaking. Because I've been on stage since I was 10 years old. My brother and I were singing country and western music in Calgary, Alberta on television. And then I did folk music, rock and roll, here down to here. And then in the spiritual community giving addresses like this. And every time I got on stage, I would feel sick. I'm going to throw up. I'm terrified. Why? I've done this so often. It's not a big deal. Why am I feeling this? After the ceremony that I did with my friend one night at midnight in the pouring rain in the Yale Valley, standing on that rock, where I got up on that rock and I said, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, that I completed the service. It's okay to use our imaginations, isn't it? We don't have to believe all this stuff. It just makes life more interesting. So I chose to say, okay, I'll be in this movie. But what was interesting was that after that, I didn't have any more fear of public speaking. So go figure. So my dream, and you can go on dreamteam22.com, is to bring together a group of people who learn how to focus their dream energy and practice and begin to resonate together towards a date. May 1st, 2022, noon. It's a Sunday. I just picked that out of the air, partly because I catch 22, and so Dream Team 22 is easy to remember, and also because May 1st was the biggest day in my family. My father always cried when we played the Bee Gees' 1st of May song for some reason, and my mother died on May 1st. I was with her and kissed her on her forehead and said goodbye. So I get to make this up, it's my dream. So May 1st, Monday, 2022, I would like to have a group of people who have learned how to focus their energy and will do something. Now where I disagree with some of the work being done, and I say this with all respect, I'm just going to read part of Lynn McTaggart's The Intention Experiment. Wonderful book. I'll read it first and then I'll make my comment. Recent research demonstrates that living things are constant transmitters and receivers of measurable energy. New models of consciousness portray it as an entity capable of trespassing physical boundaries of every description. Intention appears to be something akin to a tuning fork, causing the tuning forks of other things in the universe to resonate at the same frequency. The latest studies of the effect of the mind on matter suggest that intention has variable effects that depend on the state of the host and the time and the place where it originates. Intention has already been employed in many quarters to cure illness, alter physical processes, and influence events. It's not a special gift, but a learned skill, readily taught. Indeed, we already use intention in many aspects of our daily lives. A body of research also suggests that the power of an intention multiplies depending on how many people are thinking the same thought at the same time. And some of you may be familiar with the Maharishi effect, the experiments done by TM meditators to lower crime rates. There were two aspects to it in the late 70s, early 80s. One was with the advanced meditators in the City program, where they felt that the square root of 1% of the population could affect changes in people's experience. That, at the time, was 8,360 people. Pardon me, that's regular meditators. No, that is the advanced meditators. If it's regular meditators, they felt it was 1% of the whole population. So that would be like 70 million people. So somewhere between 8,000 and 70 million is what I'm aiming for. And here's the place where I kind of disagree. I think that there's something different to do with our intention. I'm a little suspicious of the, well, let's all focus on world peace at the same time thing. I'm not sure that that isn't a carryover of a patriarchal model. So what I'm more taken with is a term in quantum physics called fuzzy thinking. And fuzzy thinking acknowledges that we have so much complexity in the world now that meaning has an inverse relationship to order. In other words, getting it all together used to create meaning. Now, things are so complex, we can't get it all together. Where would you put it if you did? You can't get it all together. So instead, the meaning is in fuzziness, in dispersal, in a flow rather than a focus. So when I say, what's your dream? And talk about pulling together this dream network, I'm not talking about all of us having the same dream. Have your own dream that you feel passionate about. But can we be unified in the dream field? That's the question. So, Bob, you could start that music now. I'm going to guide you in a little intention meditation to find your dream. So just close your eyes, or to quote my great friend here, Ricky, or not, as you wish. And just relax. Notice your breathing. Let your thoughts wander. Feel this moment. Just be. Feel the presence of a mysterious something. That's you. And let your imagination awaken. Ask yourself, what's my dream? We're not worried about getting an answer. What's your dream? Just be with the question. Accessing this field of genius. Flowing with the quantum waves. Feeling yourself turning from a noun into a verb. Moving. Vaporous. Undefined within the field. What is my dream? Just repeat it silently to yourself over and over, letting go of any concern to get an answer. This is about the question. What is my dream? What is my dream? And surrendering your human identity even more fully, let yourself go into the field of all thought, all feeling, all knowledge, all energy. Know this is the place we came from, the place you return to. Home. Feel your heart cracking open. home. Where you belong without having to earn it. You're loved unconditionally for who you are. Feel her arms around you, the great mother holding you. Loving you. And your Father honoring you. Feel that blessing. So linger for one more moment of peace and total self-acceptance. At home in the dream field. And when you're ready, prepare to return to this room. Open your eyes, wiggle your toes, your fingers. Come on back. So, some moment in time in the future, it may dawn on you what your dream is. You may already know. Kashina's going to hand out a worksheet for us here, and I'm going to guide you through a 13-point process pretty quickly, but you can take this home. On the back side is a notice of my next event on Tuesday night next week. What I've done, and I don't see Lisa here. Lisa in the room? I was going to apologize. Lisa Loomer, my good friend, has helped me with screenwriting. She's a screenwriter. And I've taken the hero's journey. You're all familiar with that. And I always like to say the heroine's journey. And Norma uses that model a lot. And coming out of screenwriting, that model is used a lot in storytelling. And so what I've done is I've adapted it for use in finding our own heroism in a really different way. And you'll see when you look at the sheet that the standard 3-act structure is expanded to 4 acts. And there's a reason for that. So we'll just go through this quickly and then you can play with it at home. So, for starters, in Act 1, equilibrium is disrupted. You know full well watching movies that at the beginning of the movie, within the first few minutes, something happens that throws the hero, the heroine, off their footing, and now they're in balance, there's danger, there's threat, something is off. The rest of the movie is going to be about finding a new level of equilibrium. So that's called the inciting moment in screenwriting. And I'm placing that at the moment of physical conception. So,
We ran out, so if anybody can share.
oh wow, there are more than 80 people here. So, yeah, share, and who doesn't have one? So there's a few people at the back, and yeah, sorry about that. I didn't know there'd be more than 80 people. I think it was Gypsy Soul, right? So I put the inciting moment at the moment of physical conception, choosing to birth. I don't know how many of you believe this, but there is the idea that we chose to be born. So I subscribe to that. Wayne Dyer subscribes to that. I heard him do the Unity service in Maui many years ago at Christmas time. And he was talking about one of his daughters who really was giving him a hard time because he does parent coaching. And she was saying, well, you're a terrible parent yourself. And so he finally said, well, you know, you chose me as your dad. And she was absolutely floored by that idea. And she apparently thought for a few minutes and said, well, I must have been in a real hurry. So the call to action I place at physical birth. You're born. Now that is a change in environment. You can imagine coming out of this safe womb where everything's provided, out in the cold world, these noises. My mother told me when I was born, I was the first of 3 boys, she said I came out and I looked like a wizened old man. And I didn't cry, I just sat on her belly looking around. Which I think I've kind of spent my life doing, looking around. And I was born with the placenta still around me. In the cowl, this is a tradition in the East where this is a big deal. If you're born with the cowl around you, you're destined for great things. I think in the West it's just considered like really messy. But in my grandfather's tradition, it made sense. His name was Abdul Hadi Nasser el-Din.
Free cities.
Presence in you, my grandfather. I was with him when he died. I was 30. He came out of a coma, grabbed my forearm. His eyes snapped open, and he looked at me, and I shook with the power of what's called in his culture the gaze, where hereditary information is passed down. And so thank you, grandfather. I hope I'm using that gift well. Physical birth. And then a defining moment is where the hero or heroine takes a stand, or maybe they don't. We like it when they do. And they realize they're going to have to do something that's taking them way out of their comfort zone. Act 2, the one all writers hate, because it's where the work gets done. This is the trials and tribulations, the enemies chase you. Awakenings is a jolt of expanded awareness. Oh, we're not in Kansas anymore. And this happens, by the way, over and over again. It happened for me this morning. I was lying in bed thinking about this wonderful time together, and suddenly I've been working on a new book, and I was working with the phrase, God so loved the world that he sent his son, etc. And I went, wait a minute. That happened to me. I'm the son that got sent. And I just started weeping. I just, oh my God, how I wasted my life in not honoring that commission to be in the planet, to give my gifts, to find my dream, to live it, to inspire other people, to be inspired by people. I was later going, wow. Well, that was a moment of awakening. And, I've been through this a few times. A glimpse of the internal truth. Something is called for from inside me. Death. The surrender of the old self to let the new self be born. Something Andrew Harvey talks a lot about. The unwillingness of some people who consider themselves spiritual to go into the descent. The second act is not fun. This is the dark night of the soul, when you lose your vision and the way seems lost. Every healer who's worth anything is a wounded healer because they've gone through the dark night of the soul themselves. They've despaired, they've given up, and then there's another turning point, another obstacle. It's unrelenting. The best movies are the one with a lot of challenges, right? If the hero faces one little challenge, slays a dragon, and then everything's good, he's just having tea with his friends. Is this a movie you're going to refer to people? No. You want him to have more challenges and more challenges. And just when everything seems great, the bottom drops out. Second turning point. The greater the obstacle, the greater the death, and the more momentum heading into the third act. Act 3 is where we establish a new equilibrium. Transformation is always a conscious choice to facilitate the movement of spirit for personal growth and development. That's a direct quote from a book called Inside Story by Dara Marks. It's for screenwriters. Just to give you some hope for movies, there are, like these guys, conscious musicians, conscious writers, always a choice to facilitate the movement of spirit for personal growth and development. Wow. I mean, that's brilliant. A climax, the conflict concludes. Now is where I've added this. The third turning point. This is what always bugs me. The movie finishes. You've been through all this, and then it's over. And the couple rides into the sunset, or something else happens, and I'm going, well, wait a minute. What about bringing those gifts into the world in a meaningful way? What about returning with the elixir? So Act 4, transcendence and return. Dreaming a new life beyond this dimension. Returning back where we came from, the dream field without this body. You know, you can take that with you. So what will I return with when I go home? What will you return with? And what do you want to be doing? I figure out what I want to be doing. Inspired by my favorite book as a teenager, Catcher in the Rye. Read that book, J.D. Salinger?
Brilliant.
Do you know what that meant, Catcher in the Rye? It's a very unusual title. He wanted to be the guy who stood in the tall rye where the children were playing. And that they would be playing unconsciously, just having fun, and they would go running, not knowing that there was a cliff there, and he would catch them so they wouldn't fall over the cliff. That's what the Catcher in the Rye did. So you know what I'd like to be? I'd like to be like that. I'd like to be like a guardian angel. I'd like to watch over people. So I've never had any children myself. And that's a regret in my life. I've never really held a baby that was my own. Astrologist told me I didn't need to do that. Well, thanks a lot. But I've held people in other ways. And I feel something about that for later on. You know. So I might be back. So the circle completes. We shall not cease from exploration, and at the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. So, how does our dream manifest? It's pretty spacey, like doing meditation. We're there in the internal world, great. Well, how do we feed the sheep? GMO issue, our Family Farms Coalition, there's a good cause. Women's rights, I'd love someone to translate the Declaration of Independence in the Constitution to include men and women. Money and equity, the rich and the poor. I helped start a time co-op here where we trade in hours, not dollars. I'd like to see trillions of dollars being held in offshore banks, flowing into the system to feed people. There's a peace movement in Ashland. Eric, where are you? Yeah, there's Eric Sorotkin, helping with that, establishing a peace commission in Ashland. Ricky, Dr. Kirshner is working on vaccinations, getting the truth out about vaccinations, because there's so many lies there, you don't know what to believe. I think we have a homeless issue. So here's the point. We take all these lofty things, you know, being born, coming into the world, going through our hero's journey, and we apply them in the world with social advocacy. We do stuff. We don't just sit and go to church, meditate. We do what we're called to do. So, I'll call my friends up here to complete. I was laughing at myself at my grandiosity. You know, grandiosity is where you think big. I have a lot of that. And it's embarrassing, and it's also really inspiring. Nothing would happen without grandiosity. Steve Jobs, a really grandiose guy. He dreamed big. His only book on his Kindle, I think, was Yogananda's autobiography of yoga. But he had what was called a reality warp field, which meant that when anybody got near him, like I get near Donna, she's starting to think, I need an iPad. And we all have that. But I would like to think that mine isn't a reality warp field that gets you to kind of do what I'm doing, but that inspires you to dream your own dream. So it's a reality empowerment field. Okay? So all of us have that, and we've been living in that this morning. I'm really hopeful you go out with some morsels. When I'm at a talk like this, I always, when I'm sitting there, you know, listening to whoever's talking, I always figure I'm like a gold miner. There's gravel, but there's some nuggets of gold there. So I hope you got some nuggets this morning. And I was laughing at my grandiosity and thinking, you know, it's kind of messianic, right? Kind of Christ-like, right? And I'm not Christ. But the Christ spirit is in myself. And I think to claim that we're separate from God is arrogant. Some people think it's blasphemous to say that I am God and one. I think it's blasphemous to say that I am something separate from God. So I'm certainly not Jesus, I'm Will. But I think I can do something this morning that John the Baptist did. He baptized Jesus. And so Spirit is calling you, not someone else. God loved the world so much that he sent you. And you being in this world makes a difference. Accept the commission you were given. Keep the promise you already made to be yourself. Don't try to be someone else. Be a local hero. Be a dreamer. Live your dream. I will be the change I wish to see. I will dream the world I wish to be. I will be the spark of my own fire. We will be the change we wish to see.
I just want to take a little moment before we start performing for all of us to give our love and appreciation for that exquisite talk. Will Wilkinson. And to Sheena, thank you. That was a beautiful prayer. Thank you so much. Gorgeous. We know a lot about that 4-act thing because we're just finishing our CD. And just when I said to Roman, I think my water broke and we're ready to go, we birthed another song. And so our record's going to be a little bit later than we anticipated. You know, the tragedy and all that stuff. You got to have it. It makes for good art. So this is called Be the Change. We are flesh and bone, we are parts unknown, and we are ashes, we are dust, and we are rogues and kings, we are bold extremes, and we are joy, we are we are strength and heart, though we are miles apart. And we are one, we are love, and we are hopes and dreams, we are noble beings, and we are diamonds in the rough, yeah. We lost sight of all we are, forgotten history and its scars, reduced ourselves to doubt and fear, giving up what we hold dear. Freedom is one and four, lives are lost and souls are born. Lasting freedom lives inside, within our hearts and in our minds. Be the change you wish to see. Be the peace that sets you free. Yeah. Be the love you want to feel. Be the cure that helps you heal. Be the dreams that you desire. Be the spark of your fire. Be the future you inspire. Be the wings that take you high.
wow, triple wow. This is such a wonderful service today. I am so blown away. I'm in the process of studying with Mary Morrissey to become a dream builder, life coach, and a vision workshop leader. So everything you said just really anchored that in so much. And I'm so appreciative of everything that you said and everything that you sang. And what a day, wow. This is a time that we are going to really graciously and appreciatively receive your offerings. And you know, Will was saying before about the word appreciate. It means to expand, to grow, to really, well, that's what we want to do here, right? We want to expand and grow, and so we really appreciate your very generosity today in the offering. And maybe you can do your final song while they are taking the offering. Would that work for you? All right.
Speak in my absence. Stand in my place. Will you rejoice in the life that I've led? Will I inspire along the way? Sing in my passing. Dance upon my grave. And for whom will I be a lasting memory? For whom will I easily fade away? Do I give enough? Do I love enough? Do I live enough? Did I ever give up on anyone I should never? Do I risk enough? Do I forgive enough? Do I trust enough in my never give up, never give up, never give up. Never give up, never give up, never give up. Oh, yeah, never give up, never give up, never give up. Never give up, never give up, never give up. Oh, and wake from this slumber, sharing the faith that we are the sum of the choices we made. We cannot lay down, have the mercy of faith.